Whenever we sprayed the stripes, we went ahead and sprayed a clear coat over just the stripe sections. This just locks down metallic and gives us something to sand on top of. And so after we go through and sand down all of our stripes, knock down that clear coat, we're gonna go back and clear all of the parts in the full van, and it'll make this whole thing a nice giant mirror. So what we're doing this week is we're going back into the jam and we're knocking off any overspray that might have bled through while we spray the stripes. And we're going to go back in and respray our stripes right in the jam. So once we close all the doors, we have a nice and smooth transition. We sprayed the stripes with all of the doors attached to the body. That way you can get the metallics to lay out the same way, because if you shoot a panel flat, the metallic's gonna lay differently than if you shoot it upright. So you can't spray into the jam right there and actually get the stripe correct because it's just a gap right there. So going back, taking off all of the panels allows us to go back, clean up our stripes, end them nice with a little roll on them, and at the same time clear the whole body as a piece, clear all of our parts as single pieces. That way we don't end up with any dry edges in our clear. Yeah, I'd say that we're like right at the goal length. Yeah, I'd say you're probably good there. Yeah, you're good through all of that. That's all scuffed. Yep, we're gonna be good to go. And let's check out the backside. Yeah, throw like a real light scuff on that edge with some Scotch-Brite.
Just on the corner?
Just on that edge, yeah.
Okay.
You shouldn't be looking for breaking through or anything. I just want to make sure if there is overspray, we get a little scuff on it.
Yep.
So stripes are gonna run straight around and there ain't nothing on there. And we can get it over to the going.
Last one. Sorry, Leo, we're not moving over just yet.
We're almost there.
2 minutes.
Give me like another week and a half and I'll be over there.
What did you say, to use water too?
Yeah.
Get soap and water or no?
Yeah, if you want to grab one of the wet sanding bottles from outside.
Yep.
They literally just look like that.
Water.
Water.
Okay.
They should be on that short little cabinet on the wooden table.
Yes.
So I'm gonna die. ¿Por qué? Thought he just came and licked my elbow there for a second.
I licked your elbow?
I was like,
I mean,
huh.
we're friends, but I don't know about that.
That's why I was so confused.
Whoa.
Got so much torque. It almost twisted the chassis off the line.
It twisted the chassis. How did this thing stay up? Pretty good?
I'll hold it. Yeah, if you put it in the center, and then, I've never done it that much. I always put it to like here. We could try it a little bit further up though, see how open we can get it.
You want it inside that lock spot?
Sure, try that out. I'm gonna say, once it's like sitting, it's pretty good and steady. Doesn't want to go anywhere.
You will only fiberglass, little whackers on the head, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that little bit of weight helps it out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna have to get knocked smooth. But if you want to leave that section for me,
yeah.
Feel free, or if you feel like doing it, feel free.
Everybody's gonna get painted anyway again, right? So.
Yeah, we just gotta knock it smooth. Probably just take that red down to where it's. Yeah, take the red down to where it's black over here.
Yep. Decent on this side.
See if you could stay off the silver, but probably not.
Same thing, just scuff the inside of where the red's gonna go.
Yeah, this side will just do the inside.
Okay.
Yeah, unless it's chipping up on there. Nope. Should be pretty good.
this edge, take the clear off, same thing, and then.
Yeah, just give it, literally just scuff it. You don't even need to take it all the way off. Get that little silver off though. Maybe. See how this backside scuffs up. We may or may not take off that silver. We might just cover it.
Really no overspray or nothing on that?
And no overspray under there?
Not a lot. I mean, there's a little bit, but
yeah, no.
Just kind of rough it real quick with that. This is just with the, recall it, the Superfine.
Yeah, it looks like you've probably already broken through the clear, so I'd drop over to a fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and
see
just
if it'll dig it out.
Stay right on top of it, yeah. Or try out 800, that might actually work a bit better than fine.
I think that's what I was using.
With keeping it just right there, because the fine will want to roll over those edges a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was using, was 800
Sick
to get
nasty.
that there, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it looks like you're broken through the clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's all right.
Easy enough.
All right, so the way that you got the lines are good and how it's lined up, the only thing is like it's a little more than a hairline, right? But if you have something like this on top that you have to blend, that's going to be super obvious when you put clear on it. But as far as that goes, because we're just jamming it, I think it looks great, man.
Okay.
Just like we talked about, roll your edge.
Yep, exactly.
Make sure we
Keep
don't
it
get
from
any
going
paint
on that top.
on top of here or here, because then it won't match.
Yep.
But yeah, these lines match up very, very nice.
Sick.
Very nice. You got bare metal there. You can't put color on top of the bare metal.
Okay.
So.
Peel and epoxy it.
Yeah, even if you just dab it with a little bit of epoxy now.
Okay.
Just pull that back and dab it, and then you can go back and kind of feather it out before color.
Perfect.
But realistically, you should probably pull it and just spray that little section there. But as far as everything else goes, no, the lines are great.
Sick. No, these jams, we'll have to actually mask the backside once it's on.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'll probably throw just like a little reference piece over the stripes just to see where they're starting at. Although it should, I'm thinking we might be all right just leaving it until.
Well, since you're not doing anything right now, like to these, right?
Right.
Take your tape and just roll it over.
Okay.
And then that'll give you your reference.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you'll take your tape, roll it, take your tape in there, roll it, and then just make sure, I mean, this doesn't really matter at all.
Exactly.
And this one, the only thing that you're really gonna want to look for is when you roll that piece of tape in, that when you're opening the door, this line just matches up with that tape.
Yep.
And then you can tape over it from there or whatever you need to do, but then you have your reference.
And And I was thinking the gull wing,
This one's a little high on that back side there.
Okay.
But it does look like it pulled up a little bit. However, that's gonna stand out. This back line, it kind of
Gotcha.
just a little bit higher than the rest. However, you won't really see it because you're gonna have that distance anyway.
Right.
But just because
We can catch
we're
it now.
already there.
Exactly.
Yeah. As a reference, it's good. Just make sure, like we talked about as far as it peeling back or anything like that. The contrast is going to make stuff stand out like a sore thumb.
Right.
So, this one goes a little high too, compared to
On
the
the,
rest. Yeah. But other than
Yeah.
that, no, it looks good, man.
Sick.
It looks good.
So definitely
Good.
wanted a third opinion before we go and rip it apart.
Yeah. Good job.
Sick. Thank you, thank
You
you.
have it painted by the end of the day.
Yes, sir. Running by Friday.
All right.
I'm thinking I'm gonna do a round of masking and shooting just the parts, and then I'll
Yeah.
go back and
Yeah, you're
mask
not
and
gonna.
shoot.
Yeah. You're not gonna be able to fit all the parts in
No,
the
no.
cabin there.
Yeah, and I don't want to mask them both at the same time, just because it's gonna peel up on the van.
Yep.
Cool.
Good job, buddy.
Hey, Maggie.
This is the original engine out of the 34 Cadillac. Now, Terry completely rebuilt this engine, and we've re-porcelainized the porcelain, had the carburetors done, but again, Terry's very meticulous going through this engine. He's also gone through the transmission. You already gone through the rear end on it also? I thought so. So all the drivetrain's been done. We just been a little slow on our end getting the bodywork done. It was a little more than I thought.
The stuff that had to be sublet, the manifolds, I can't porcelain manifolds, we send those out. And that took a while to get those properly done. The cylinders had to be sent out to be cleaned inside, and then I had to do the outsides, and then I had to do the block itself. A lot of cleaning you can imagine on that, and then polishing all the crankshaft and the rods and making everything fit and work together again. And a whole lot of little tiny pieces that had to be made to go in there. That
We bought a donor motor, which is in front of it, to get all little odds and ends. And when we sent out the porcelain, one of these had been cracked originally, and the gentleman we sent it to didn't do such a great job fixing it. So we got another engine with good manifolds, and we let them keep the heads so that he pre-fits the manifolds to it for the one that goes in the front on this side. But then we're also building at the same time a full display motor to sit next to the car, so you understand the size of this V12. Now, this V12 is different than the Bugatti. This has the cam in the middle, push rods, typical setup. But you could either get an 8, a 12, or they stretched it to here for a 16. Pretty cool amount of engineering, and Cadillac was one of the first companies that made interchangeable parts. And you think, well, why wouldn't they? Well, a lot of cars back in the early days hand fit everything, but then you couldn't just order a part, you had to hand fit it. And Cadillac is the first company that made interchangeable parts that had the tolerances where you could take it out of one engine or order one and just put it in the car. So that is the good part. The bad part is it's a fairly complicated engine to put together because it's got a lot of little parts that have a lot of detail and the tolerances.
well, this is a roller cam engine with hydraulic valve lash, which domestic cars didn't have that until the 80s and 90s.
So it is very much ahead of its time. The Bugatti is a little more complicated of an engine to do because it's overhead cams, it's tolerances, it's a mono block. Here you have heads on the block, as you see on the block over there, standard block, heads go on top. So you could send the heads out and have them done, but on the Bugatti, you couldn't. You have to do everything internal. Well, as I talked in the intro to the Cadillac, these cars they have wood frames in it. All this inside is wood with metal skins over it. It's the way the cars were built back in the day. And this car was in Michigan, so it had a lot of rust on it. And when my dad and brother restored it, they leaded over a lot of the rust. It had also been hit right here. Had a pretty good sized ding that somebody beat back out and then just coated this whole fender in lead. Originally, when we first tore it apart, we're like, oh, this will be pretty quick. Then as we started looking at how stuff fit, how it closed, we realized the wood is moving. And then looking at some of the way some of the panels were, we took all the factory lead off the car everywhere. And there was a lot of lead on these cars. My dad used to work at Fisher Body back in the day. So that's why he had, I would say, sort of a love affair with the Cadillacs of this era. And he told me how they were built back then. And I grew up in the shop. So I grew up working on this era of car, Delahaye's and Bugattis and Cadillacs. Those are the three favorite makes of his. But this car, look at just how big it is. 153-inch wheelbase on this. Now think, my mother is driving this car, all 5'4" of her, with a 153-inch wheelbase and a V12 with a manual stick. She, and I have pictures of me in the back of this car when I was a kid. So this is sort of a love affair. We have been working on this car for a while. We worked on it between each auction, but now we're getting to where all the metal work is done on the car. Dustin's done a great job. Terry has already gone through the chassis, all the suspension and that. After we fit the car, get it into primer, we'll blow the whole car apart, blow the chassis back apart, paint the frame for real, and know that everything fits and works on it. Next time it goes back together, it's going back for real. So stay tuned.